This is a really complicated, controversial subject. So on one hand, people say that their incomes are just not keeping up with the cost of living. And with this rent hike, although it is lower than before, they say they're going to struggle financially. But on the other side, people say that there's going to be an economic pitfall down the line that they want people to think about. So let's break this all down. The Rent Guidelines Board is going to be voting on the rent hike proposals on Monday for 1 million rent stabilized apartments all across the city. The one-year lease is going to stay the same at a range of 1.75 to 4.75%. The 2-year lease hike went down last month to 3.75 to 7.75%. Now, the justification for this change was inflation and the cost of living that was hurting many tenants, and people say they just couldn't afford to pay any more. But here's the thing. Landlords say any increase below 6.7% does not cover their operating costs. Now, the Rent Guidelines Board actually did a study, and it shows that landlord expenses are up more than 6%. So landlords say anything less than that keeps them in the red and hurts them. Landlords say property taxes, water, sewer, and electric bills are going up astronomically, and they say they're just trying to make a living too. Meanwhile, as the New York City mayoral race heats up, Zohran Mamdani's major campaign promise to freeze rent comes into play. He wants to prevent any rent hike for tenants in stabilized apartments for 4 years. And if elected, he would have the ability to do that because he can appoint people to the Rent Guidelines Board. But some experts say this could be even more detrimental to New York's economic health. Critics say the lowered rate hike and the rent freeze could prevent landlords to keep up with repairs or improvements. There's also the concern about small or mid-sized landlords being forced to sell to bigger groups just to avoid foreclosures or bankruptcy. Experts are also warning that deteriorating housing quality could worsen the housing supply crisis in the city, and that would then have a domino effect with lower property taxes, and that means less revenue for schools, transit, and other city services. And supporters do think that all of that can be fixed with some tax reform, but they say right now the focus needs to be on tenants. Now, today there is that final public hearing before the board votes on Monday.